Alright, take two. Welcome back to Horror Corner.
Hello.
There's a dog right here.
Yeah, we got distracted. This is actually the second time we're trying to film this because, like, the first time...
Everything went to hell.
Yeah, the dog peed, we had to bring him outside, watch him outside, clean up, everyone came home.
Yeah.
This is the second time trying this.
Yeah. So, we tried to do Halloween Horror Corner Marathon, but I'm old and get tired.
I'm older and get tired less.
So I fell asleep at like 12. And we did the obligatory Nightmare Before Christmas, and we played some Minecraft, and then we watched Over the Garden Wall.
And Over the Garden Wall is what we're going to be doing the Horror Corner on.
So, I just have to make sure my dog isn't dying, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Stopping here. We're not doing spoilers yet, but stopping here, we suggest you stop watching this and go watch it.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's really... It's one of those things that you really don't want anything spoiled for you. You really want to watch it yourself before you go into anything surrounding it. So, it's really good.
Oh.
It's not exactly modern horror.
It's... If you're going...
God damn it!
Pause.
No one wants this video to get filmed.
No, they don't. Alright.
So, Over the Garden Wall isn't exactly modern horror.
If you're going into it expecting, like, gore, suspense... not suspense. There is suspense. If you're going in expecting gore, like, jump scares, things like that...
Even the supernatural elements aren't really what drives the fear.
No.
It's the atmosphere thing that makes it a Halloween-heavy miniseries.
So there's horror aspects. So, like, there are skeletons in it, there's, like, a demonic entity, ghosts, witches, but they're more things that set the setting than necessarily what's bad. But I have a friend, Tarantus Terror.
We'll link him.
We'll link him in the description. We'll link the thing he did on this episode, actually. And he does something he calls iconic characters from horror fiction, where he talks about different characters in horror, and he also has something he called the four horror theory, which is how he divides up horror. He divides it up between gothic horror, which is like the old school, like Dracula, Wolfman, like Frankenstein's in gothic horror, but it's kind of like the bridge between gothic and atomic. We'll link that too, because you should actually go read his four horror theories.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Actually reading his stuff is kind of what changed my view of how I see horror.
Yeah. We might start talking about which of the four horrors of the Horror Corner fits into, actually.
Yeah. That would actually be a really good way of applying his theory.
Yeah.
So there's the gothic horror, which is like Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein, kind of like the sort of horror you think of when you're thinking of, like, the horror that would take place on, like, the streets of Victorian England. So, like, Jack the Ripper-esque. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde would be it, and it's like, It's like the old, evil kind of. Then you have atomic horror, which is more like the War of the Worlds, Godzilla, The Fly, like, the evil of... like, the evils of science and, like, technology, and, like, the horror that's kind of, like, half horror, half sci-fi. Then there's slasher, which... slasher. If you don't know what a slasher film is, then why are you watching something called Horror Corner? And then there's cosmic horror, which is, like, the Lovecraftian slender horror. Of, like, the evil cosmic entity that, like, you can't control and stuff.
Right. And Over the Garden Wall falls more into the gothic
It's
horror.
heavily gothic.
Yeah.
And he compares it to fairy tales, but also pointing out the fact that fairy tales at the time they were written were essentially the horror stories of their day.
Right.
And he heavily compares it to Rip Van Winkle, and more especially, because a lot of people don't think of Rip Van Winkle as a horror story, but he mentions, like, in the original tale, he technically went to, like, the fairy underworld. And more specifically, something people do more readily recognize as a horror story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Right.
And once you think about, like, if you think of the old Disney Legend of Sleepy Hollow, that's basically the kind of style you're thinking of when you go into Over the Garden
Yes.
Wall. Like, it
There's
oozes
music.
fall, it oozes Americana,
There's music.
there's music.
But it is scary.
Yeah.
But not in the wet your pants kind of scary. In the holy crap, I'm really worried about these characters scary.
Yeah. So,
So now we're going to go into spoilers.
now is spoilers.
So go watch it if you haven't already. Don't watch any further.
Why are you still watching this video? Why haven't you stopped and immediately played Over the Garden Walls?
Seriously, do you want to watch this before you go into any spoiler territory for anything? Alright,
So,
I think it's safe now.
yes.
So, Over the Garden Wall is about two brothers, Wirt and Greg.
We're lost in the woods, and the woods are just called the Unknown. They're lost in a place called the Unknown.
Right.
And the Unknown has the first episode they run into a woodsman who like warns them about the beast and like warns them like you should get out of the woods, kids. And the woodsman's actually a big character throughout.
Yes.
Let's just do a quick overview and then we can go into more details about different things.
Yeah.
So
They're in the woods.
so the whole point is these two kids are lost in the woods called the Unknown and they're trying to find their way out. While they're doing this, they are, unbeknownst to them, being hunted by an entity known as the Beast. They're warned about the Beast.
Nothing wants this to be filmed. There's a dog outside, so my dog is excited.
They are in the woods trying to escape. The woods are called the Unknown, and they are being hunted, unbeknownst by them, by an entity known as the Beast. Now, they're warned about the Beast many times, but they never see the Beast themselves until, like, the final episode.
Even then, he's a figure that's constantly cloaked in shadow.
Yeah. And
Which I really love his design.
once again, my friend, when he talked about the Beast in his iconic character from horror fiction thing, he compared him to villains such as Smaug and Dracula, which is they're villains you very rarely see in the story, and they do very little in the story they're the villain of, but their presence surrounds the entire narrative.
Yes.
That's the kind of villain the Beast is. Like, he doesn't do a whole lot to the kids. He does very little to the kids, actually. Most of his scenes are him just talking to the woodsman.
Right.
But there's just a sense of menace, and his voice actor was actually...
Right.
His voice actor is
really good.
apparently a person who does opera.
Yeah.
So he has, like...
The soft but strong voice.
Yes, like, he doesn't need to, like, speak up to, like, be heard. Like, his voice just has, like, a power to it.
Right. And the Beast was... We never really see the Beast doing anything terrible,
No.
but we know that he's a terrible, evil figure.
Yeah.
Because of the way the environment and the rest, everybody else talks about him, which is... It's a great when you have a villain like that. That's the kind of villains that I like.
So, they eventually meet and defeat the Beast and end up home. So, that's the Cliff Notes version of the plot. Going into more details, once again, something my friend pointed out, the Beast is a demonic and satanic entity, not in the way modern demons are usually portrayed, but
Jibs.
very much in the way of...
He licked my lips. Ow. Continue your point. Go. Sorry. This video's a mess.
So he's the folklore devil, like, so he can't touch you himself. Like, he can't do he doesn't do anything ever to actually harm things. He can just tempt you into, like, suffering.
Yeah.
Like, he can't hurt the kids themselves, it looks like, because he never once lays a hand on them. He can just, like, make Greg do a bunch of tasks that will eventually cause Greg to, like, wear out and freeze to death. Like,
Yeah.
he can try and make a deal with them.
It's really good.
It is. So,
And there's a lot of little things
Yeah.
that are really great about the environment. There's the Pottsfield.
in the second episode, they go into this town that's populated by skeletons. And it's called Pottsfield, and if you know anything, a potter's field is the term for a massed burial where, like, the identities of the people are unknown. So that's one thing. they meet a witch who dies because of the night air, which it was an old belief was that night air is the reason why you got sick. They have to take a ferry at some point, and the way to get onto the ferry is the 2 coins, which, again,
Like the spirit with the bell.
yeah, there's a spirit with a bell part. Which, another thing is, quite a few people, we're not going to discuss it here, there are other people who have done this far more on YouTube than we could ever get into, is there's quite a few theories that this is based around the Divine Comedy. Which, I'm not sure if it necessarily is based on the Divine Comedy, but definitely took inspiration from it. So, they get a guide in the form of a bluebird. At one point, the bluebird's name is Beatrix, and if you know anything about the Divine Comedy, Beatrix is like the woman Dante's looking for. Like, I don't remember exactly the details of it.
It's really good though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it because I want people to see it. But one thing I will say I really like about the Beast. Quiet, Chips. And I told you this also. There's one moment where we see the Beast in light, and it's flashed for a fraction of a second, to the point where we had to go back and look up what the picture was because
Yeah.
we didn't get time to really take in the image, and I thought that was a great effect.
Yeah, this is kind of like the... I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just want people to go see it.
Right, and we also talked about how there's a lot of unanswered questions at the end, but we don't want the answers. It wouldn't be as effective a gothic horror if we got the answers.
Because there are horror movies where, like, I'm fine doing, like, a full rundown of the plot. I don't want to do this here. Like, go watch the movie.
Yeah.
Go watch it yourselves.
But, so in conclusion, it was good. Gothic horror.
Easy 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's definitely worked its way into, like, my yearly rotation of what I'm going to watch around Halloween.
Yeah. It's really good. And it's short. It's about the same length as if you watch all 10 episodes. It's
A movie.
it's barely a movie.
It's
so.
10 episodes, about 11 minutes each, so...
Barely a movie.
Yeah.
Like a Disney movie.
Yeah, it's a short movie. So definitely go watch it.
That's it.
Alright.
This is like the 4th time we've recorded this because everything keeps interrupting this video. So if we see
Horrible.
if we seem kind of like not into it annoymore, that's why.
Yeah. Like the dog's barking.
My little brother's being an ass.
It's a train wreck, so we just have to cut it here.
Bye.